Hey y'all! I'm actually really nervous to film this video because y'all wanted to get personal with these questions, okay? I got all 150 questions right here and I grouped them by category, so let's jump in. Number one is, what is your ethnicity? I feel like no one ever guesses this right because a lot of people don't even know this ethnic group exists. Time for a quick history lesson, y'all. So the Pashtun tribe is an ethnic group that exists in both Afghanistan and Pakistan. Majority of them are in Afghanistan, but a small minority actually exist right along that border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. That's where my family's from. That's why when I say I'm Pakistani, a lot of people don't understand because I don't really look Pakistani, but it's actually because I'm Pashtun and it's just such a diverse ethnic group. And then to add into the mix, my dad's side of the family actually goes back to Saudi Arabia. Someone asked advice for finding a husband. Love the idea of marriage, but it's so hard to find the one. My advice to that dilemma would be, if you knew you were gonna meet your husband 6 months from now, how would you live your life? Would you go to events thinking, oh, I gotta dress a certain way because I might meet my husband there? Or would you go on a trip thinking, oh my God, like I have to be like this because I might meet my husband there? Simply put, would you live your life in anticipation of finding your husband? You wouldn't. You would live more in the present for you. You would want to put yourself in higher positions. You would want to experience all that you can experience because you know that 6 months from now, your husband's right there waiting for you. And you want to know the craziest part? Your husband, how you're going to meet him, when you're going to meet him, has already been written for you. That is destined. Whether you want to believe in God or you want to believe in the universe, like that has already been decided and written. Case closed. So you don't have to worry about that. And the thing that people say, you'll find the one when you stop looking for them, is only true to the extent that you glow differently when you're living life on your own terms, when you're pursuing your own goals. In that type of headspace, you glow so differently and everyone around you sees it. I'm telling you, when you're focused on your own goals, elevating yourself, and you're on that path, the one will find you on that path, and it'll be such a healthy relationship because you'll both be on that path. He'll see what you're working towards, what you're growing towards, and there is nothing better than that. Have you ever met someone when you're like down in the slump and you'll notice that they're probably in that slump with you? It's just not a situation where you can like build a relationship that flourishes out of something like that. It can be done, but why would you want to start your foundation like that? Dating advice, girl, don't date. Okay, I don't mean that literally, but dragging out the process of dating is just a recipe for disaster. Men and women know when they're gonna marry you, I would say like within like 2 months max. Let me backtrack a little bit. The goal for dating should be to get married, right? And if it's not, then girl, you're at the wrong place. But this is what we're here for. So if the end goal of dating is marriage, why are you doing this song and dance all the way around it for years? That is a recipe for disaster. But I also do feel like it's a little bit different, like early 20s versus late 20s. If you're in your early 20s, definitely take the time to get to know them because you're still getting to know yourself. But it comes to a point where it's like, set your boundaries, because if you are gonna get to know somebody for a year, it shouldn't be like you guys are acting like you're married, but you're not. That's the distinction that I want to put there. And another thing, don't be scared to give that ultimatum, whether it's you want marriage and like they're just dragging their feet and you're gonna say, if we don't get married within this time frame, I'm out. Lay your boundaries down. Like that's what I'm talking about when I say boundaries. Like, lay them down and be firm on it, because there's no point just saying, hey, this is my boundary, but like you don't even respect that boundary yourself. My best dating advice would be to listen to his or her actions more than their words. You can really tell somebody's intentions by the way they move and they carry themselves around you, and like within a split second of like looking into someone's eyes, you can tell their true intentions. You can kind of convince yourself otherwise, but your soul knows and your intuition knows what they're truly here for. And honestly, you'll just be doing yourself a disservice if you're over here being delusional and trying to convince yourself it's something that it's not. So learn, especially in your 20s, to like pivot quickly. It's not a loss if you find out that somebody doesn't have the best intentions for you, but it will be a loss if you try to stick it out and change them for years. Don't do it. Somebody asked, what are my future goals? So I feel like at this moment in time, I'm kind of like at a crossroads where I'm like jumping to brand new goals, and I've kind of like not completed, because I feel like a goal is truly never complete. A lot of the goals that I had set out like 2-3 years ago, I've kind of gotten to the other end of it. Like, mashallah, I have an amazing job in tech. By the way, I'm completely new to social media. I only started really getting into it less than a year and a half ago. So this growth has been really quick and unexpected almost. And then I have other goals that I don't want to speak on just yet, because I'm a firm believer of like, get it done first and then speak on it. But I think one goal that I'm really trying to focus on while my husband is overseas is making memories. I don't want to look back on my 20s and just remember me being in the house the whole time. In this day and age where we're bed rotting, scrolling on our phones, I feel like rarely we're outside just making pure memories. Just making my life like as big and beautiful and like building a community is something that I'm really striving towards, which is a whole other conversation, by the way. I'm a really low maintenance friend. I don't need to be talking to you all the time, but I just saw this video where it's like, if you want to build your community, you have to kind of be annoyed sometimes. You have to kind of like entertain somebody at your house when you just want to be alone sometimes. Like they said, that's the cost of building a community. And I think in this like capitalistic society, we've gotten to a point where we're so individualistic. We don't even ask our neighbors if we run out of eggs. And I think if we want to change the world, literally the first step is changing ourselves and our community. And that makes such a big difference. So that's definitely one goal that I am striving towards this year. What inspires you? Girl, I feel like I touched on this just even in the intro of this video, but God. And recently I've been thinking about this a lot, is that your gifts and your talents are a blessing given to you by God. And if you think about it that way, why am I not out there making use of every single talent that I have? Why am I not mastering every single talent that I have? That's the craziest thing. Like that blew my mind. Make use of your talents because God is the one that gave that to you. Insane. Someone asked, what was your journey with confidence? Honestly, I've never been like a super insecure person in my life. I feel like throughout my life, I was just always focused on like internship, going to school. Y'all, I was working at the government full time while I was in school. I was so busy all the time. I literally had no time to really like think about my appearance. But if we're gonna pick something, it would be people pleasing. I feel like when I was younger, I was such a people pleaser. I feel like I would bend over backwards for people that would never do the same for me. And thankfully, God has blessed me with like really kind-hearted, beautiful people in my life. So I really didn't experience like so much kind of tragedy or anything, like somebody taking advantage of me, but they may as well could have, because I just gave myself so much that I could have been an empty cup easily. And that's so dangerous. Now I feel like I'm so much better at drawing boundaries. Saying no is like a big thing for me now. So yeah, a little food for thought, I guess, that if you think like insecurity is just like physical appearance wise, it's so much deeper. It comes in the way you carry yourself, what you give people, what you give to yourself. And I'm so proud of myself for getting to a place where I'm able to just put myself first, but like not put myself first like in a very like individualistic, like selfish way, but knowing what my standards are and really standing by them. Y'all, all of these questions have been so deep. So let's switch it up and make it a little bit more lighthearted with some other questions. Someone asked, will you ever go back to highlights? It looks so good. Y'all, this hair is staying for good. The blonde really made my hair so unhealthy. Y'all saw how dry it was, but I feel like this glossiness, how like shiny it is, would never have been possible if I stayed blonde. Although I loved it, I feel like it brightened up my face so much, but this I feel like is just giving like a natural vibe. I'm honestly in love with it. So no highlights for the foreseeable future, girl. Someone said, how do you revive your scalp after intense dryness? Girl, let me tell you, I've been on a hair journey and I made this hair oil. Wait, let me get it. So this is the oil that I made. I put a whole bunch of stuff in it. I'll list the ingredients on the screen, but I swear I've been doing this weekly and it has just transformed my scalp health. I've also been doing a scalp exfoliator, but these two things, game changer for scalp health. I'll make like a deeper video on Instagram or TikTok about it, but girl, you got options, so don't stress. What stores do you shop at? So I've been loving Meshki recently. I feel like they've been doing their big one online. I feel like their pieces have been amazing. They're a little bit on the pricier side, which I don't love. Like I don't understand why modest fashion has to be more expensive. Even if you look at the Pretty Little Thing rebrand, they've rebranded and they have the same fabric composition. They're using polyester, but then they're raising their prices because it's more modest. Make it make sense. And if you guys know other brands that are similar to Meshki, leave them in the comments. We need to put each other on. What's one product you couldn't live without? I think it has to be my Refi brow lamination gel. That stuff is insane. I've grown my brows out by using a lash serum on my brows. Yeah, I know it's crazy, but like now they've grown out to the point where I feel like I don't even need to fill them in if I don't want to. The Refi brow lamination gel, I feel like it lays my brow hairs down and makes them look fuller because they're kind of like laid down in the correct way. Let's go back deep. Advice for a girly starting her 20s. Girl, embrace every single one of your interests. They're there in your heart for a reason. If you love drawing, make the time to embrace that art, work on your craft. Because one thing is that, yeah, you could be super talented in something when you're younger, but so many people lose gifts. So many kids were amazing at playing piano and then somewhere down the line, they can't even play anymore. Or their creativity has been insane when they were younger, and those same people are the most rigid, logical, uncreative people now. Please use your gifts when you're in your early 20s. Not even just like talents and gifts, but like your genuine interest. If you have an inkling for something, go ahead and just do it and pursue it. I know everyone's circumstances are a little bit different, but you do have more leeway when you're in your early 20s. Don't box yourself in, pursue everything. This is your life and you could literally make your life whatever you want it to be. When you're pursuing every single one of your inklings or anything that like draws at your heartstrings, heartstrings, you're gonna find that passion that will just skyrocket you into everything that you've ever wanted. One thing about me is like, I grew up with a really creative dad. My dad was like so creative. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. What the heck? It's Ramadan braid. But my dad, I literally watched him do his photography. He had a studio in our basement. He did his artwork, his painting. He also worked his career in developing communities. He was in the Olympics. I saw my dad do everything that he ever wanted to do in his life. And for me, like, I made sure to pursue all of my interests because that makes you human. You do not have to box yourself in. That would be my best advice. This question made me so sad. Somebody said, how do you deal with a broken heart? My boyfriend of 13 years cheated and I lost my best friend. Girl, I feel like the number one thing that you need to know is that his infidelity is not a reflection of you. Him cheating doesn't mean anything about your character, who you are as a person, or what you bring to the table. I think it's so easy to get wrapped up in what did I do or what could I have done better. If somebody is a cheater and they have a wandering eye, that's a problem with them inherently. So that's number one. Number two is how to heal a broken heart. Know that your heart will probably never be the same as how it was before you met him, and that's okay, because if you look at life like a painting and each person adds like a brushstroke to your canvas and you make this beautiful picture of your life, when you have that mindset, nothing that you go through is ever like a hindrance to the rest of your life. It's never like an adversary or like something that holds you back or something bad that happens to you. It's really just a colorful brushstroke on your canvas. And honestly, that might be like a big mental shift that might be just a little bit premature for you right now. But just immediately the actions that you could take when you're in a moment of grief like this, think beyond your own mind. Go out there, go volunteer, give your time and give your heart, because that really shows you that you have people around you, that you have a community around you beyond this relationship. And when you're giving and when you're servicing people, it just unlocks this beautiful feeling in your heart. I also feel like right now, if you were to give advice to somebody, it would resonate deeply because you're literally living through a catalyst type of moment in your life. And I feel like in these types of moments, create, give advice, put yourself out into the world. This is the time where you want to do the exact opposite. You want to rot in bed, but it's literally the time where you should be doing the opposite. Take your time to yourself, but literally pour into yourself, because likely if it was a 13-year relationship and he was cheating on you, I'm going to go out here on a limb, but you were probably living for him. You were probably doing things for him a lot of the time. So pour back into yourself. Take your power back. Are you religious? Girl, I've been talking about religion this whole video, but I think my favorite thing about being religious is that you're not living for this world, and that is so freeing. So I'm gonna leave it there. Let's move on to the next question because I feel like I'm dragging this video out. Do you believe in manifestation and how do you do it? Girl, I believe in God, not manifestation. They also asked, how do I do it? I think it's one and the same. When people manifest, it's the same thing as like praying to God. They visualize it, they speak on it, they believe that it can happen for them, and then it does if you're actively working towards it. The other layer of manifestation versus religion is that when you're manifesting, you think you did it yourself. And when you believe in God, you know that there's a higher power that transpired to make that happen for you. And I just think it's a little bit arrogant to think that you're controlling everything that happens to you, everything that you get in this life, when we know that this earth is only in the universe where it is to have all of this life that we have around us by mere decimal places. If the earth was like just even a little bit, a hair to the right, it would be too hot for us to exist on or too cold for us to exist on. So you're saying like all of that is by chance. This was all like human design? There's no way. So if that can't be human design, what makes you think that you like manifesting a donut the next morning was from you? So that's where like my like disconnect happens with manifestation. But I think like the process that people manifest is literally almost, if not identical, to the way that people pray to God. So just to answer your question, the way I manifest is praying to God and putting in my all. Like one thing about me, when it comes to my goals, I'm going full force. There is no holding me back. I am going all in, and sometimes it's like super draining because I feel like I want to achieve everything all at once. But I love it for me because when I'm not doing stuff, that's when I get more depressed. Someone said, why is your content so short? I make my content on Instagram and TikTok super short because I want to make it like really engaging for you guys. Like every second, I want to make sure it's engaging. It's really exhausting because I love these types of videos where I'm just rambling and I'm talking. So I'm definitely going to be doing more of that here on YouTube. I'll try to do a little bit more on like TikTok and Instagram, but I just don't feel like people are going to watch it. And then someone said, what editing app do you use? So I use CapCut for all my edits, and I'm going to be making a workshop style video here on YouTube. Sounds, the animations, the text effects, all of that is going to be in this video. I just need to get my butt up and start working on it. So stay tuned for that. Someone said, what is your workout routine. Girl, let's get into it. Recently, I've been so busy, so I needed a routine that was effective, quick, and easy to remember. What I do is I work out 6 days a week and I alternate days. So I'll do weightlifting one day and the next day is cardio, and then weightlifting, cardio. On my weightlifting days, I will just do strictly leg day. I know I don't really work out upper body because I do most of that when I do my cardio. And I always found that when I did like weights for my upper body, I just looked bulky. I put on muscle really quickly and the upper body weights was not doing it for me. But yeah, weightlifting days, I do heavy compound movements and finish it off with some isolating exercises. And then for cardio days, I do 30-minute Stairmaster or an hour incline walk. It really just depends what kind of time I have. And then I'll finish it off with some ab rotation circuits that involve some upper body work as well. Have you been fasting, and what's your food routine? Oh yes, I have been fasting, so my food routine looks a little bit different. In the morning, I stick to 2 things. There's like a Chobani yogurt drink that's low fat. It's amazing. It keeps me full throughout the entire day and it's not like super high in calories either. And then I'll have like toast with some eggs. Super simple. Get my protein, get more protein with the yogurt drink. That's what I have in suhoor, like the morning time. And then to break my fast for iftar, I just have my normal dinner except a little bit more of it. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been ordering out a little bit more since my husband hasn't been here. So Uber Eats has been your girl's best friend. What did you study and how long did it take? I have a whole video about this on my YouTube, but I studied international development and globalization. It's a mouthful, but it's basically just a mix of economics and politics. And that degree took me 4 years to complete. Someone said, how can I possibly make money from home through a business like you? Girl, I'm struggling. You asked the right person. So I work 2 jobs, social media, and I'm also a tech project manager. The social media part is actually relatively recent, believe it or not. I only started posting consistently less than a year ago, and I can make an entire video on like how I got to where I'm at on social media. And then me working in tech is a whole separate thing. That's my full-time job. And I got a lot of questions on like how to get into tech. Do I need certain degrees to get into tech? All of that is covered in the other video on my YouTube channel. I give you guys the entire blueprint, but in a nutshell, you don't need any experience. I'm gonna say this again, take the experience you already have on your resume, use ChatGPT to reword your experience to make it more appealing to tech hiring managers, position yourself out there, talk to recruiters, send recruiters messages, get yourself in the market, network, and you should be golden. And if you wanna know how to do any of that, go watch that video because all of this is free knowledge. Okay, now let's do a rapid fire round because I got a bunch of questions that I can't put into like direct categories. So let's go. Where am I located now? And did I used to live in Canada? How was that journey? So yes, I was born in Pakistan. I moved to Canada when I was like 2 or 3 years old. I grew up there and I only moved to the US, I would say like about 3 years ago after I got married. And then someone asked, what's the biggest difference between Canada and the US? There is a certain hustle culture in the US that doesn't exist in Canada, or I would argue any part of the world. Like the type of hustle culture that exists in the US is kind of like from a scarcity mindset. Oh, we have to get more, we have to get more. It doesn't come from like a inspiration type of hustle. It literally comes from, I want to make more profit just to make more profit. I'm working 3 jobs just to get by. Like that's so scary. But in Canada, if somebody's starting a business, it's starting purely out of inspiration. People are living good over there in Canada. I don't know about now, but when I used to live there, people were living good. Someone asked, how tall am I? I'm 5'3". Okay, 5'2", 5'3". I don't know why I get this question so often, but yeah, I'm a short girl. Someone said, what's your favorite city in the US? I love Miami. I think it's really chill, but I also love the West Coast. Anywhere on the West Coast. I'm a West Coast girly at heart. And like, if it was up to me, I would be living out there. Why don't you post your husband? Girl, I used to post my husband all the time, but like I said, I blew up on social media really quickly. It's been less than a year of my journey on social media. I just don't feel comfortable like with so many eyes on my page now to like keep posting him, especially when he's not even on social media himself. And I do value my privacy. Just keeping something special for yourself in this day and age, I think there's beauty in that. And then another question was how many languages I speak. I speak Pashto, of course. And then Urdu and Hindi are very similar. I understand it. I can get by speaking it. And I know French because I grew up in Canada and you learn French throughout school. And then I worked in the Canadian government, which again, you have to be bilingual. And then obviously English, which I'm speaking now. So that's what, 5 languages? I didn't want this video to get too long, but I got a ton of more like advice type of questions that I definitely want to make a part 2 for. Maybe like a girl chat, advice, dilemmas kind of segment. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know me a little bit deeper. Personally, I loved the advice segment. I love that you guys were able to be vulnerable and share something that you are struggling with and need advice on. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Make sure you guys subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to be posting vlogs, girl chats, editing tutorials, the whole 9. So make sure y'all are here and join the family. See y'all next time. Bye y'all.